What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy Kirk the Creator. This is Clipper Connect. And today I want to talk about something that's been taunting me and kind of, I don't know, I think it might be kind of messing up what the concept of being a barber truly is. And I know I'm going to be stepping on some toes, but hey, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to rattle the cages, get people out of their norm and talk about this 15-minute fade versus like a 40-minute, form of art that we have created as barbers. We've switched so much from like who can cut the fastest, who can, get a flip chairs. You know what I mean? I spoke about that in one of my videos prior to this, but I want to touch on how we're starting to lose, that experience that the traditional barbershop and even modern barbershop, because I don't want to make it sound like it's an old thing that we used to do. People come to the barbershop for an experience, not just, a tight fade or sharp lines and all the other stuff. That's what social media and everything has gotten us to this point. So without further ado, roll the intro. So what's happened now is they're teaching us how to be like super fast, right? They're teaching us how to flip our chairs, get more bang for your buck in a day. I see this all over social media, how to fade in 15 minutes, how to do an 8-minute fade, how to double your chair cutting time faster, but after 30 years of doing this, right, you kind of like understand that I want to tell y'all that it might hurt, right? It might hurt what I'm about to tell you, but if you're chasing 15-minute timer versus giving quality, then you're technically not an artist. You're a factory worker, right? That's that old assembly line mentality, cut, paste, put it back together, go, 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 go. And look, I get it, right? I get it. We all want to show that money, right? We want to see, the lines out the doors, but there is a massive difference between like a transaction and a transformation, right? One puts $30 in your pocket and the other one puts $100 in your pocket every month, right? If you flip in the chairs, you get 100 versus 30. We talked about it in one of my previous videos. So one of the problems in 2026 that I want to address, is that the obsession of like speed, or even when we drive our cars, right? Everybody wants to see 0 to 60, but speed is where consultant dies, right? I think what we're doing is we're losing the art. That makes clients feel like, instead of a number, that they're, family, right? They're a person, right? Today, I want to break down the 15 minutes fade, right? Actually, the fastest way one of the fastest way to break your career. It'll burn you out versus a 45-minute haircut, which, demonstrates your art, right? The approach of the ultimate marketing machine of being in this industry. So stick around, because I'm going to do exactly what I said and break this down to you so you can understand like how important it is to not rush, right? How important it is to take your time. And I'm not saying do an hour and a half haircut, right? Even though you could, because, you can provide multiple services that way. Of course, that increases your revenue. But I want to change the mindset again. Like I spoke in my other video about rushing, about bypassing the consultation portion and actually listening to what the client wants. I mean, outside of the regulars, because even regulars change their mind. So it's not like they can't. So, just that reassurance of same as last time, right? If they say yes, then you repeat what was last time, so they know that you actually remember them as more than just a number, but family, right? They're a client, they're a brother or a sister or whatever the case may be. They're a part of the community of barbering. So I want to take this time in this video to kind of like talk more about it, so we can start thinking about it. To be honest, it's sad that 8-minute fades is the thing now. Like how much money you can make in a short amount of time, not understanding that within that time frame, you're abusing your shoulders, you're abusing your wrist, you're abusing your client, because you're not taking the time to give them exactly what they came for. We've forgotten about communicating. We've forgotten about having those conversations, doing those catch-ups or those follow-ups of the last things that you guys spoke about, right? Showing them that you appreciate their money, right? But you also appreciate their time and their stories and the things that they decided to share with you. Because it's not often people just start talking about, hey, I'm going on a trip with my family, or my XYZ, blah, 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 or, their dog died, or, they have an ill family member and stuff like that. So we need to respect that. You know what I mean? That's what keeps them coming back. That way you don't have to worry about always taking in walk-ins, or it helps you to budget better, because now you know that these people, you can 90% more rely on these same people to come back over and over and over again. That can help you with your budget and kind of scale how you want to grow, how you can expand, because you already have your guaranteed 250 people or 150 people or 50 people, and move on from there. So the first thing I want to talk about is how social media is fooling y'all. The reason why I said that is we're now in a society where our mindset is set on trends versus reality. What's trending for someone, somewhere, somehow, does not necessarily mean that falls in line with what you have going on. You'll see barbers out here now that have, $100 clients, $150 clients, $500 clients, and you automatically, your mind, because you're in a fast track thinking with social media, is that I'm going to up my prices. I need to do this. People need to recognize my talent, and this, that, and the third, and this, that, and the third. And I've mentioned this before, that though you may have a clientele that's high priced, you lose one, it takes a lot more to get another one back. If you have clientele that's, within the 30 to 50 to 60 range, they're easy to replace, right? Because they're practical. So I know most of us, we want to do less and earn more, but that's not longevity. That's that quick mindset. Do a little, get a lot. Rush this, rush that. Put this first, put this second. A lot of us want to double what it is that we're bringing in. And again, 8 to 15 minute fades is only going to work for a short period of time. Yes, it's going to work, but it's going to be for a short period of time. You have to understand your clientele. You have to understand their time. You have to understand their needs. And that comes through consultation, which is, hey, Roger, are we doing the same thing that we did last time? Yes. Okay. So last time, just to recall, that make sure we're on the same page, is that you want a ball fade or a shadow fade or a low fade or a taper or a mid taper or a high taper. You want wavelength, or you want a number 2, you want a 3, you just want the back rounded off, you want to square it off. Some people may think that is repetitive or not necessary, but the moment that you decide that you know what the client wants, it could be the day they decide, hey, you know what? I meant to tell you that I wanted to grow my hair, or I meant to tell you I want to cut my hair off. You could have saved that within the consultation time, and that gives you an opportunity to upsell the client. Okay, Roger, you said you want to do the same thing that we did last time, correct? Boom. Yes. The customer confirms, you go over what it is, and then you say, I remember last time when I gave you that, I did notice some dry scalp or scaling in the scalp, or you're starting to get light right here. That's a shampoo opportunity. That's a hot oil hair treatment opportunity. That is uh, opportunity to change the style that may work better for the client and go from that point, right? There's just so many things that can happen to where you can upsell that whole situation. Or you could say, I noticed last time you were in, you had a situation going on, and one of the best things to do, us as males or females, is to get some self-care. Just have that moment for yourself to reflect and relax at the same time. Could I interest you in a facial, or a effleurage massage, or a tapestry massage? Just something else that you can utilize and show them that you care and that you thought about them and how you want to be the person that plays a part in their recovery, or in their situation, or in their growth, or in their change, right? That's an opportunity for you to, again, qualify the customer. I have a method that I use when I was in corporate called the guest methodology, or philosophy, where it was greet, Guest, guest, greet, understand, educate, satisfy, and transform, right? So you would greet the customer. Hey, Roger, how you doing? I don't know why I came up with Roger, but Roger, how you doing today? Greet, right? That's the greeting. Understand. Hey, what are we getting done today? Are you doing the usual? That's how you understand what they need. GUE, educate them that, last time you saw something, or did they know if you had a special going on, if they add this with this, they'll save some money. That's educate. Satisfy them, be like, confirm. Yes, okay, so just want to confirm, boom, 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 and we're going to get you wrapped up and ready to go, on your way, or whatever the case may be. And then you transform them from a pop-up client, or a last-minute booking client, because I have some of those, to a consistent client, to where they're booking ahead, or they're scheduling that special service in advance to give you that time so you can calculate your day, again, about time management, right? Those 5 things: greet, understand, educate, satisfy, and transform, to me has been my go-to thing throughout my entire career. And that's what still helps me grow today. So I said earlier that if you're one of those 8 to 15 minute faders, that's your practice. I'm not saying you can't do one in 8 to 15 minutes and not be effective. That is not what I'm saying. Let me clear that up, right? Because I'm a fast cutter too. So I'd be contradictive if I was to continue to talk about this but not take a full accountability. I'm speaking more to those that are getting into the career, to the field and the profession. Those that are semi-seasoned. I'm 30 years in, like I said, and 8 years licensed in North Carolina. So I'm just trying to give you some game, right? You can't look, it'll transform your mindset to be more of a factory worker. In a factory, everything's an assembly line. You're just doing your part, or doing the bare minimum to get it to the next section, so that can be done, so that can be done, and so that can be done. You want to be an artist, right? Where you're the creator of things. You are the one that suggests those things. You are the one that they rely on to give them that best look. Sometimes you can give a customer, the same haircut, right? They've been doing it for years. They're safe with it. You're good with it. The platform is set. You're good to go. Then you hear, like I said, you're gathering this information to say, you know what? This is a new year. I don't want to change your taper, right? I want to see, would you be willing to try like a dramatic drop fade, where it's like literally almost like a taper, but it swings under the occipital bone. Thank you. and like make it dramatic and just give you a slight change, a slight new look, but keeping you within your comfort zone. Granted, that doesn't cost you anything, right? It's the same haircut for you, same time. But to the client, it's making them feel like, you know what? Maybe I need to step out of my comfort zone. I trust my barber. I believe that what they say, it's not going to make me uncomfortable, but just kind of slowly open up my mindset. Because face it, we get tired of doing the same haircuts to the same people all the time. That's that burnout of like, can we try something else? You know what I mean? So that's your opportunity to kind of slowly get them out of that. And they might be open to say, hey, I love what you did, or I don't like what you did, but let's talk about let's pretend that they love, they were okay with it. Let's not stretch it. They were okay with it, right? And they're like, I appreciated you saying that to me or doing that for me. I've gotten a lot more attention because everybody was so used to the same thing. So now, not only is the client excited, but now they have opened the door for others to say, wow, that looks good. Or who did that? And here you go. Oh man, I've been going to this guy or girl for the last XYZ, let's 5 years, right? That's pretty much the average of repeat customer. Like, I've been going to this person for 5 years. They ask me to, and then they tell the whole story and they're like, man, that person really cares. You know what I'm saying? Or they didn't miss on this look. It's not drastic. It's still you, but it's like a fresh you. You know what I mean? You got to think about these things to make your job interesting, number one. You got to think about these things to make your job challenging, which will block a burnout and block boredom at the same time. So not only you're blocking, your routine and keeping your repetition, but now you're encouraging a client and you're building their self-confidence, and they're gaining more attention. And that's the key. If you're doing the same thing and it's always the same thing and they're always at the same place doing the same things, one slight change can be like, it's something different. Did you lose weight? Go through that whole spiel about what is it? And they'd be like, no. This Roger, no. I mean, the only thing I can think of is my barber tried, something different. Then it's like, that's it. And one of the things they may say is like, I mean, what do you think? Do you like it? Blah, 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 blah. They'd be like, yeah, it doesn't look drastically different, but it might have made them look brighter or lighter or just different, just different. It's not about the big things, right? It's just those little small nuggets that can just change the whole persona or the whole attitude of the client, and for you too, because now you get to do something different with that client. And again, so I want to wrap this up, man. I didn't want this to be a super long video. I just wanted to address what I'm starting to see on social media a lot more. And that's that whole need for speed situation. Everybody's getting obsessed with about like these fast fades or, the extra stuff to hide their flaws or not treating the craft, like a true workmanship. Like, we're artists, right? We're in the same line as tattoo artists, movie makers, songwriters, music producers. We are artists, and our job is to refine our art, to not water it down, not discredit it, not take away from it, but to add to it. Adding speed is not what we do. It's about learning your craft, learning your tool, so you can be efficient. Don't mistake fast for efficient, because you can get a lot done by being efficient, and you can make a lot of mistakes by moving too fast, right? So I just don't want no one to lose the art of barbering. I don't want anyone to, lose that zeal for like, like it was before when you first started, and how exciting it was, and how, you know, your mindset and your goal was to get to this plateau. Focus on refining your craft, being a student of your craft, and allowing yourself to show others, again, efficiency, consistency, attention to detail. I like to show my clients their haircuts before, if they ask for enhancements, before the enhancements. So, are you sure? And they'll be like, yeah, I just want to, to make it hit a little bit more. Okay. I show it to them. I've had, let me finish my thought first. And then I add the enhancements, and they'll be like, okay, great. I'm good. I've done it to where before, honest to God, they asked for the enhancement as soon as they sat down, but I was able to do the haircut, hit those lines, keep those ash marks, and to them, they're like, you know what? Oh no, I'm good. Because my objective is, when you leave and you go to the gym, or you go to the club, or you go home, or to the grocery store, if you sweat or you take a shower, I want you to be like the same look, at least for 3 days. The haircut really stay crispy for 3 days, right? And I want them to hold on to that look. I don't want you to come on a Friday for the weekend, and then here comes Monday and you feeling a little raggedy. No, I need that Monday to feel like, you know what? I don't like Mondays, but I look good. I look good. So that's that's my ultimate goal. That's me refining my craft. That's me allowing myself to find my natural enhancements, as far as like how to not push the hairline back clearly, but to let the customer know, like, all right, this go around, I'm gonna hit you with the enhancements because I want this hairline to grow back, or because they went to another barber, or they're starting to recede, right? You want to slow walk them into that recession versus like just keep hitting them with the enhancements. And then when it wears off or washes off, it's like they go back into this self-consciousness of, oh my God, I'm losing my hair. They go through the emotions of it and all this other stuff. And then you got to be the superhero again. So without stretching out the video, I do want to thank you guys for continually supporting the channel. Like, what? I appreciate y'all. No, seriously, I do. I love the views. I'm loving the comments. Like, you got your one-offs that's got something to say. I love y'all too. Bring it. I love it because it lets me know, it helps me on the areas that, of course, if it's valid, right? That I need to get better at, because I don't want my videos to be hell-bent and focused on, fades and all this other stuff. I want to educate. I want to be able to speak to the newcomers in this industry and the semi-seasoned and even the seasoned, right? To know that you're going to get to a point, I'm going to tell you now, newcomers, you're going to get to a point where you're burnt out. You're going to get to a point where you're tired of doing the same thing. You're going to get to a point where you feel like, I need to branch out and do my own thing. You're going to get to a point where what you're doing is not enough. But I'm telling you right now, just keep mastering your craft. Keep sharpening your skills and honing in on your gift, and learn efficiency over speed, and allow people to fall in love with what you do just as much as you love what you do, because that's the reward, and that's the pat on the shoulder. That's the constant push for you to continue to do what it is that you sought out to do in this industry. So keep your head up, support each other, love on each other. And when I say support, I mean if God forbids I come out with my own clipper or something like that, support me. If you come out with it, I'm going to support you as well. Even though y'all know I'm an Andis fan all the way, but I do try other clippers, and give them a chance when I see that they're in the same line or field of how I cut. I like a full extended steel blade, full. I need it to be a 1, at least close to a 1. If you're still a half, like, the wall system per se, that's something I would have to relearn all over again from when I used to do it, for 7 years strong. I've been in Andis cutting style for far too long for me to want to hit reset. And some people are like, well, man, that's just, you're not versatile, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you can have that. You can keep on playing with your craft. That's fine. I'm refining mine in the space that I'm in. And, sometimes people just need to just respect that. It's okay. It's okay. Everybody don't have to be switching all the time and trying all the things all the time. Whatever works for you is what works for you. You need to master that first, then move on to the other. Again, I was a wall guy for 7 years, so I got it. I know how to cut with them. I just prefer the Andis style because I don't cut up anymore. Line 1, line 2, line 3, bringing it back down and blending out. I don't do that anymore. I cut down, set the first guideline, knock down the bulk, blend out the fade. That's it. That's it. I'm going to show that on this channel, but not right now. Right now, again, I want to talk about things that matter more to me. Then I will stretch my hand to teaching the proper fade not the proper fade, the way I fade. Okay? And just stuff like that. There's enough channels out there doing that right now. I want to stick with what's working for me. Again, content that I would want to watch. So that's what I'm doing first. 15-minute fade or 45-minute artist. That's today's title. I'm Kirk the Creator. You see it. First Flight Barbers. Clipper Connect. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. See y'all in the next video. Let me see. Yeah, because I'm in a suite now, I want to talk about that. That's a whole nother experience, and we're going to talk about that. So catch y'all in the next video. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your patience. Again, thank you for supporting. Like, subscribe, share. Continue doing what you're doing. Let's have a chat and a conversation. Tell me how you feel about the 8 to 15-minute fade versus like a 45 minutes to an hour and 15-minute per se artist of cutting hair. I'm not talking about adding shampooing, massaging. I'm talking about cutting hair, taking time with the art, giving the client what they ask for, being more personable instead of being so short. And let's have a chat in the comment section. I don't want to hold this video too long. I appreciate y'all. It's Kirk the Creator. I'm out. Peace.